Hello racing fans and a warm welcome to Trackside, proudly brought to you by World Sports Betting Bets with the best bet with WSB. Well, I hope that you had a fair week whenever you were playing on WSB, because as you've come to know, there is plenty of action from around the globe when it comes to horse racing. And let's not forget, there is sport and more sport. Casino, there's games, club, it's got everything, doesn't it, these days? It's a one-stop shop for you, the valued customer. Well, congratulations to our sponsor, WSB, on a very successful World Sports Betting Cape Med Day. And it's now a weekend later, and it is their race day as well. It's the World Sports Betting Gauteng Guineas, and the supporting feature is the Vulcan Strips Fillies Guineas. Promises to be another cracking good race meeting at the Big T Turpentine on Saturday. And that will be our main focus. Of course, we race at Scottsville on Sunday. And from that Scottsville race meeting, well, I've just picked out one horse, but I've picked out 3 horses at Turpentine on Saturday. And I'm just going to give you a guide at just a skeleton perm for pick 6 players, and you can play around that part and maybe add some numbers that you fancy as well. Okay, away we go with our 4 to follow. And we'll begin, can you believe it, in the Vulcan Gauteng Fillies Guineas, Group 2 over 1,600 meters. It is the first leg of the Triple Tiara. And we go in with the obvious horse, a horse that has really started to catch the eye now. Was daughter of Kiwi the Green Light. She's got a solid record, and you can't fault her form much. She's had 6 starts for 3 wins and, of course, 3 places. And when you have a look at her last 2 wins, well, that win at a penultimate start where she won the Group 2 EP Tommy, I mean, that was just superb. She beat a quality field that day, and we know that from that form line, having beaten Under Your Spell has still come out to win. And our last start, when they dropped her in distance over 1,200 meters, well, what a performance that was. She was deep in the red, trading at around 1 to 3. But it was just the manner in which she skated away from the opposition, beating Argo Valley, who next time out came out to win by 5.5 lengths. Just showing how she's disposed of the opposition and how they've gone on to win in their next start. So, give me a shot, representing some decent form lines. She looks to be a filly that's just maturing and getting better and stronger with racing. And she does top the best weighted column as well. On what we've seen to date, I have no doubt that she is the right favorites in the fields and the horse to beat. And I think whatever beats her will win the first leg of this Triple Tiara. Number 1, give me a shot for Mike and Adam as the NJP Fundamental seems to be getting on superbly well with that, having partnered up and the last 3 starts. Then we go on to the World Sports Betting Guineas. And I found a horse here, guys. Now, I know that Schumacher is trading at around 33 to 10 and on top of the betting boards. But it does look to be a very highly competitive race. There are horses that have met each other. There are reversal of form lines. And these 3-year-olds, well, it's now halfway through their 3-year-old careers, 6 months into the season. Some of them are just, starting to get better as they mature. And I think we could be more to come for a few of these runners. But the runner I found is the visitor, called the Morning from the Brett Crawford stable. Now, he's a horse that went bang, bang, bang at its first 3 starts, and those wins were just superb over 1,400 meters. I say this because in all those wins, he was so confidently ridden by Louis Portois that just shows you the confidence that Louis has in this horse, that wherever he's positioned, that the horse is going to turn on the speed. And all 2 of those winners were good. And then in the Sellenbohr, a Group 2, he drew 13 out of the 16 runners. They took their chance. And again, confident right from Louis. He had no option from that poor draw and he just dropped him out, and he was one of the faster finishers in that race. He was a decent third behind cousin Casey, and he was finding his feet very late in that race. And I was impressed with that run. I wasn't surprised to see them, run against the best of the best in the Guineas. And that day, he just showed very little interest in running. He was poorly drawn, and at any stage of that race, I never saw him threatening at all, and he was well beaten behind a superstar in Charles Dickens. And Charles Dickens came up next start, and he ran a short head second in the King's Plate, but beating Jet Dark and Comic Didem, who came out and ran 1 or 2 in the World Sports Betting Cape Med last week. So Lamone, the thing about him is that I don't know how long he's been up with karting. I don't know if he's been there for a few weeks, because his last start was on the 17th of December. Let's call it 1.5 months ago. So I don't know if he was sent up immediately or he's been there or he's going to travel. But for whatever reason, he accepts and takes the conditions in KZN, in Gauteng. He's the type of horse that I feel will love the conditions at Turfington. Having watched him race at Durbanville and Kendall, this longer run-in at Turfington is going to suit him ideally. It's really going to suit him well. So number 9, the morning, informed stable, an informed jockey. His form lines in the Cape got done well. By the way, from his last start behind Charles Dickens, we've already also had the horse called, I think it is Royal or yes, come out to win the Gold Rush last weekend as well. So, number 9, Lamone, all we need is for him to, have traveled well and settled up in karting, because I think on his form, he is a massive runner here. And I looked at the WSB website, and it's currently trading around, 14, 16 to 1. So I'm suggesting an each way bet on it. And we are going to go with the places in that all to come, which will be posted up as one of the 2 trebles on World Sports Betting South. I just think that this horse at 16 to 1 is the joker off the pack. And then staying with Turpentine, we wait for the lucky last. That is race number 9, where we got horse number 5 in the beginning. Joe Somers runner. First start out, I know being associated with Darwin Chinsami, that Joe mentioned she's a really nice filly, and that one would bring her on. He was expecting her to be running on, but she obviously, has some hidden talent, because she ran on best of the rest, and she actually won it going the way at a big price of 33 to 1. And then next time out, it was really nice to see her confirm that first start was just no fluke, because again, she was outpaced, she was slow away, which was costly, and she was running on smartly, but she ran out of runway, number 5 in the beginning. So this time around, it now goes from 1160 to 1400 meters. And even though she's poorly drawn, I think the way she finishes off her races, Samanga Kumalo would have had a look at these replays. Joe Sommer will relay this information to him, that just don't be, concerned where you position, because now she's going the extra distance. Just have her within striking distance coming to the 400. I think she'll have the speed to pass them all. Number 5 in the beginning. She is a filly that's going to actually appreciate a bit further the way I've seen her race, but I think this 1400 meters is a step in the right direction, and she can make the runner to beat. The only danger for me looks to be number 4, Give Me a Light, but we're going to go all in there. Race at number 9, horse number 5 in the beginning. And then the one runner at Scottsville on Sunday comes up very early. So if we got something going from Saturday, we should be able to collect that cash early. I'm just going to go to that race. It is race number 2. And here I'm going to go for horse number 6, Oshikati, from an informed stable of God Puller. Serena Motley is riding well. and Serena's got to know this for the last 2 starts. If you go and pull out those 4 runs on the poly track over 1,200 meters, she almost always, does her best work at the finish. Last time out, they made it a 2-horse race the way they were betting between Oshakati and Azaruludo. And Azaruludo, was just too good on the day. She won really well. But I think the extra distance is now going to suit this horse nicely. And the key for me is the jockey. I say this because besides Serena Bonley and Oshakati, he did partner the winner Izzy 8 that beat number 2 super fast at last night. So he will have a plan of action, and he will have some type of strategy on how to ride Oshakati to get the better of a horse that he beat last time out super fast with a big outsider called Izzy 8. So this horse Oshakati, I think, will be priced up as the second choice in the betting market. So again, could be a decent price there. So that's the 4 to follow. We got 3 at Turpentine, and we got 3 at 3 at Turpentine and 1 on Sunday at Scottsville. And then I'm going to give you the pick 6. I'm just going to give you the numbers, guys. It begins in race number 4 on Saturday, and there's a carryover of R500,000, so estimating that call to reach 5 million. Our first leg, just the numbers, guys, so you can jot this down. First leg, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's 7 runners. Second leg, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 11, and 12. That's 2, 4, 6, 7 runners. Banker 1, give me a shot by 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 9, 10. That's 2, 4, 6, 7 runners. And then the penultimate race by 1, 4, 5, 7, 8, 10, and 11. That's 2, 4, 6, 7 runners. And then Banker 5 in the beginning. So we've got 2 bankers. That's leg 3 and leg 6. 1 and 5 being the bankers. And all the other legs, we've included 7 runners in each. I didn't plan that. I just counted it out while I was doing the show. So hopefully that can arrive, but you can use it as a guide. So that's it, guys. We wish you all the best over this weekend, wherever you're playing. And again, we're going to wish our sponsor, World Sports Betting, all the best for yet another big feature race meeting that they're part of on the South African racing calendar. And really nice to see them, sponsor races all around the country and show their commitment to the sport of the South African horse racing. As always, on behalf of World Sports Betting, thanks to all the punters, but more importantly and more especially, thanks to you, the valued customer. Have a blast, find all the winners, make a huge profit, and until we meet again, you take care. Salam, guys.